Hi, Ellen.
You look fantastic.
Thank you so much.
You look really great, and I'm really proud of you. You just did something I heard that is hard to do. You just quit smoking.
Yes.
Good for you.
I didn't mean for it to be so public so fast, but I went on a show yesterday, and I was determined not to reveal that, in fact, I'm a very recent giver-upper. And of course, the first question that I was asked on the show, how are you doing? I said, well, I've given up smoking. You know.
And how long have you smoked?
40 years.
Really?
Yeah.
Like a serious smoker?
So I've given up a couple of times before, but, you know, to no avail. And I'm the kind of person that dreams, while I have a cigarette in my hand, I always dreamed about the next one. You know? And this is something that they actually pointed out to me, which is the only time...
Who's they?
They, the non-smoking people. That the only time that you actually want a cigarette is when you don't have one in your hand.
Yeah.
So for me to actually have one in my hand and also want to have another one would indicate
That's
a
bad.
bit of a problem.
Yeah, and how now you did it. You went to a seminar.
I did.
And I read that book that you went to Alan Carr?
Yeah.
Okay, I read the book. It's called The Easy Way to Stop Smoking. Did you read the book?
It's not easy.
Well,
That's the first lie.
I read the book and quit.
You did?
Yeah, I did.
You're a stronger woman than I. I read the book and enjoyed it and put it down on my bedside table and looked at it every night before I lit that last cigarette. So it's been a bit of a haul.
And you look so great. I mean, you know, you give hope to everybody over 40 that you can look this good. And you know, you really do. And I admire, you've said that you would do just about anything, but you'll never have surgery.
I didn't say that.
Oh.
I said I don't like surgery. Surgery hurts. But now that I'm a non-smoker, first of all, they won't do surgery on you if you're a smoker because you don't heal, you don't coagulate or whatever. Not that that necessarily is an excuse to run off and have surgery, but I don't know. I don't like surgery. I don't like pain. I don't like looking like somebody else. So as long as you know, I can get away with looking like myself.
Yeah. Have you tried any of the, like you say, no surgery, but would you do like like lips or Botox or anything like that?
Well, I once did Botox. It wasn't a very good thing. I went to a doctor who said, and I'll be honest, once in a while I have a little collagen, but I go to this doctor, not in the lips, though I don't like those big, you know, moo-moo lips. But he said, Anjelica, we have this wonderful new thing. It's called Botox. I said, give it to me. What is it? So he took a needle about that long and plunged it into my third eye. You know, the pain was something inexplicable. I gasped, I writhed, and when I came to, I had a headache that lasted about, 4 days, but a serious one. But anyway, I went home to my husband that night, and he's a sculptor. He has a good eye. And he said, what have you done? And I said, nothing. And he said, no, you've had something done. What have you had done? And I could see his eyes darting all around my face. And I said, absolutely not. Nothing whatsoever. And, you know, cut to a little bit later that night, we were having dinner in a restaurant, and he started telling me some terrible story, and I was reacting like this, like, oh, that's too bad. And we got into a horrible fight. So I'm never doing Botox
because you had no
again.
expression?
I had no expression whatsoever. I was like, oh, that's really ghastly. So that was it. I can't get away with it. You know?
Well, you don't need to. And of course, Robert Graham is her husband, if you don't know, an amazing sculptor. I have some of his stuff, you know that, and I love him. And y'all are a great couple. So, and you shouldn't do anything. I love that you don't do anything. We have to take a break. We'll be back with more Anjelica Huston right after this. We're back with Anjelica Huston. So you play a very controversial psychiatrist on Huff, and have you seen anyone like that? Do you know anyone like that?
Well, oddly enough, I went to a new doctor kind of shortly after I did my first episode of Huff, and she reminded me a lot of Dr. Lena, even though she wasn't a psychiatrist. A rather passive-aggressive psychiatrist, but it looks by that clip.
This is a picture that's so great. I want to make sure we have time to show. This is your father, John Huston, with this is an Irish wolfhound? Is that right?
It is. That's Seamus.
That's his dog, and I understand. How old was this?
Seamus lived till he was 17 years old. He was like 8 to 9 feet on his hind legs.
They're the largest dog, aren't they, Irish wolfhounds?
Largest
And didn't he have a lot of those?
And the sweetest. No, he only had one.
Just that one?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought he had. That's amazing.
Oh, he was magnificent, this dog. He was fantastic.
That's amazing.
And he thought he was a puppy. He thought he was a baby. He used to come and put his head in your lap and kind of close his eyes and dream that he was a baby.
Oh, the big dogs do think that. But that's way too big. Yeah, way too big. All right, well, thanks. I love seeing you, and congratulations on quitting smoking. Good luck to you. Keep at it. Don't miss Anjelica and Hates Factor this Sunday on CBS, and in the new season of Showtime hit Huff.